Right about here, I think.
And that's when we stop becoming friends.
Oh my god, I feel like my lips are peeling off my face. Let's do it.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Not Ones. It's the show that we're blatantly plagiarizing in order to get to know our friends a little bit better and eat some delicious chicken wings. I'm joined today by Lindsay Pellegrino. She's a self-described left-handed ginger chick with a penchant for craft beer, music, singing, and food. You may know her from her roles in South Sea Resorts, various Facebook's mom groups, or as her brief time as a spokesmodel for Wow Mom Nipple Butter.
Boy, you did a deep dive.
I did my
You did a
research.
deep dive. Wow.
So we shot Diana's interview about 2 years ago now, and you wanted in immediately.
Of course, yeah.
What made you want to take on the Wings of Death?
I am a big fan of the show that we're plagiarizing. First of all, I also love spicy food, and I just wanted to see, how far I could get down the board before I wanted to kill myself and/or you also.
Well, then, should we just jump on in?
Let's do it.
All right. So, for those who don't know you, as well as admittedly those of us who do but feel weird asking because it's been a while, what exactly is your job?
So, the Coles Notes version is my company provides from basic brewers and grinders to super fancy coffee machines that use fresh milk and make espressos and lattes and things. So basically my job is to drive around in a van all day, visiting my clients and auditing what they have, ordering what they need, and cleaning their machines. That's the simple answer.
Should we move on to number 2?
Let's do it. Oh, that's really nice.
So, you're no stranger to moving. Arguably, I say that knowing that I moved you into this house.
Twice. You moved me twice.
Arguably, your biggest move, though, was to Canada in 2012. So I'm curious as to what prompted that move and how you settled on Vancouver.
Okay, so I grew up back east in New England, in New Hampshire. So I spent a lot of time in Quebec and some time in Ontario, but I fell in love with Vancouver during the Olympics. So I grew up in the mountains and then I lived in Florida before I came here. So I have a love of both of those things, and Vancouver to me seemed like a place where I could get the mountains and the ocean. So I was working for Target at the time, and they decided they were gonna open their ill-fated expansion into Canada.
Right.
So I was like, cool, this is my chance to go to Vancouver because I would really like to move to Canada. So I was on Craigslist just kind of looking for information because I didn't know anything about Vancouver. I was like, I'm just gonna move to this place. So I had posted something on Craigslist and I was just like, hey, I'm just looking for information about the city, neighborhoods, good, bad, etc. So my now ex-wife, Carlissa, happened to respond to my ad, and we just started talking, and then just one thing led to another, and we decided to get married, which we did. And then I started my application process to become a permanent resident.
Well, that actually ties into my next question, because part of moving to Canada is then staying here. As somebody who's born and raised here, it's not something I know anything about. Can you give us the cliff notes on what the differences are between visa, residency, and a citizenship?
I mean, I'm no expert. As far as I know, a visa, you can get a working visa or a student visa to stay here for a determined amount of time. Permanent resident is you are a resident of Canada, you have to pay taxes and you can work and all that stuff. The only thing you can't do is vote. And then a citizenship is you get all the benefits, including the voting, which we'll get there.
Should we move on to number 3?
Let's do it.
This is the big ticket ghost pepper hot sauce.
Okay. I just want to lick my fingers. I'm just gonna do it.
I really do think that you should look down the barrel of the camera again though and be like, is there even sauce on this wing?
Is there even sauce on this wing?
It might creep up on you a little bit.
Those words hurt.
From a fan's perspective, what do you think the difference is in just watching your team finally win the big championship, like the 08 Celtics or the 04 Red Sox, versus watching something like the Patriots dynasty unfold where they just feel like they're infallible for 18 years?
So there were generations of people that came and went without seeing the Red Sox win a title. So that I think meant a lot. And growing up, the Patriots were not very good. So I think for Patriots fans, once they started winning and we had that 10-year dynasty, I think people became accustomed to winning, obviously. So then when Tom Brady left for Tampa Bay, we were like, oh, we're stuck with Cam Newton. What's gonna happen? And last year was not a good season for us. But now we're now first place as of today in the AFC East. So I think once you start winning, you get accustomed to winning. So then when you start losing again, you're like, this is bullshit, because you're like, you feel entitled to winning almost. But the Red Sox championship was probably my favorite, because I knew just how many people had lived their lives and died without having seen that happen. And I got to see every Boston franchise win a championship in my lifetime. So that's pretty cool.
During the 2011 Stanley Cup Finals, Rogers Arena was described by some of the Boston players as like playing in a library. What is it that makes the East Coast fans such fanatics that we're just not getting on the West Coast?
I think because that's where, like, as far as hockey goes, that's where the majority of the original hockey teams were there. So I don't know if it's because we've been fans for longer, but I think also like the cold weather, and I mean, you guys, it doesn't get very cold in Vancouver like ever, so I don't know, maybe the cold makes us crazy. I mean, I'm not really sure.
Are you ready for Los Calientes?
Yes. Los Calientes. Oh, that is so good.
So since we're plagiarizing this whole show,
Okay.
we thought that a fun thing to do would be to continue on by diving into your social media and doing the Explain That Gram.
Okay.
You ready?
Ready.
Okay. So the first picture is of you and Kevin Smith.
Kevin Smith. It was an odd situation because Vancouver's like Hollywood North, so we get a lot of celebrities here. So I was working at Whole Foods and he was in the Whole Foods, and I was like walking to the back and I see the guys behind the meat counter and they're acting like idiots, and I'm like, what are you guys doing? And they're like pointing, and all I see is like the back with the hair and the hockey jersey, and I was like, oh my god, oh my god. So he's over at the specialty meat and he's just like cruising, and I'm like, I don't want to make an ass out of myself and go over there and like completely fangirl out. So I just kind of like sidled up like really chill, and I was like, hey man, like I don't want to like bother you or anything. I just want to let you know that like I'm just a huge fan of your work. And he's like, you're not bothering me at all. I live for this shit. He was like so loud and so gregarious. He goes, give me a hug. And he was literally like the nicest human being. I couldn't like, I'm always afraid like if you meet like one of your idols, they're gonna be like a giant dickhead. But like it was just a really, really cool experience. And we talked for a few minutes. He's like, you got a phone, let's take a selfie. So that's how that, and I have like the stupidest look on my face, like literally if I did like the dumbest face ever that I'm making. So I'm like cheesing out because it's Kevin Smith, but like, what are you gonna do?
Fair enough. So the other one is this picture of you and Prince William. Even if we overlook the fact that you're American, you're very left-leaning in your views and like the way that you sort of carry yourself in the world. I've got to ask you, what is your obsession with the Windsors? I'm a big history nerd, so just that it's like the longest reigning house in English history, but also like Americans are obsessed we're obsessed and probably still are obsessed with Princess Diana. So like ever since I was a kid, like I cried for days when she died. I got up in the middle of the night to watch her funeral. Like Americans are just obsessed with her, which is hysterical because we had a whole war about, you know, like fuck England, we're out kind of a thing, but like we're so like into her. How are you doing with the heat so far?
Oh, good. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not creeping up or anything. You good?
No.
Okay. Should we move on to number 5?
Let's do it.
All right.
What's this one?
This is the fundamental habanero.
Oh, this is nice too.
Thanks. I made it myself.
It's very good. Props, man. Dave.
Speaking of social media, as we were,
Oh God.
you just celebrated your 4th stint in Facebook jail for suggesting that someone needed a punch in the throat.
Yeah.
What have you learned from that experience about arguing on social media? And do you have any advice about avoiding being put on timeout?
So what I've learned is that I'm probably not gonna stop calling people out. The thing is that I have so many memories of my life on Facebook. All the pictures of my kids and like my friends back home and events in my life. So I really don't want to lose my account permanently. So I'm really trying like really hard. But what I did end up doing was usually political stuff. So I did actually go through my Facebook and just kind of deleted all of the sites that are problematic that discuss political things, because I'm hoping the less amount of things that pop up that are gonna trigger me to berate ignorant douchebags will help prevent me from getting canceled. Facebook canceled.
Now, I know we're getting into the back half of the wings, and this is where it starts to really kind of, like, that last one's got a little bit of heat to it.
It does, yeah, that's very nice.
But this is Trinidad Scorpion.
All right. Oh, that definitely, it definitely has a bit of a kick. That's nice. Okay.
That one's got a good...
Yeah, ooh, it's getting a little... I should have gotten the chapstick. I mean, I watched Diana's was the first, and I feel like she had the way of it with the... But I forgot, it's fine. Whatever happens is gonna happen, Dave.
Having lived in Florida for a number of years, are us outsiders correct in tying the mythos of a Florida man to the state? And what's one redeeming quality of the state that gets overlooked because of it?
Oh, God, yeah, it's bad. I mean, anytime I read something that seems outrageous or just like completely ridiculous or like palm facing, I'm always like, don't let it be Florida. And it just always is. I have a theory that it's like the heat just kind of like maybe fries your brain. Redeeming quality, if you live on a coastal area as I did, the ocean and the beaches are very beautiful. They truck the sand in, it's very fine. Like, there's nothing better than like spending Christmas Day at the beach with your friends, jet skiing and like barbecuing. So I think the beauty of the state is overlooked because people there are so the way they are.
It's a great way to phrase that. It's time for the moment of truth.
Okay.
Are you ready to move on to
Da bomb
Beyond Insanity?
bomb. Okay, here we go.
All
right, bottoms up.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh yeah. Woo. Wow. Wow. Woo. Oh God. Oh, it's just heat and no flavor. Ugh. Okay.
So as we said off the top of the show, you're a big fan of the craft beer scene in Vancouver, and in a city with over 70 different breweries. In your opinion, what makes for a better tasting experience? Do you want the breweries with 101 flavors and styles, or do you want the places with maybe one pale ale, one IPA, a Pilsner, something else, and that's it, and they just do those four really, really well?
Well, I think it doesn't matter how many beers a brewery has if they're taking the time and care to do them well. There is, I don't know if we should be name dropping breweries on here, but say for example, I'm going to. Parallel 49 has like a bajillion different kinds of beers. If they spent more time making better beer as they do on their can design, I think they would have something there. So I would rather go to a place that has less quantity but better quality. I don't need to try 100 different beers if they're gonna be shit. Like, I'm giving you my money, I expect to put good beer in my mouth. That's just me.
So with that in mind, when you do walk up to the bar and you make your order, what goes into curating the perfect flight for you?
Typically, when we go out, we've already perused the website to kind of see what, it's spicy. We peruse the website to see what they've got. So I don't really have a rhyme or reason. If there's just 4 that pique my fancy or 8 that pique my fancy, I'll do 2 flights. I don't necessarily divvy them up like this one's gonna be all IPAs. I usually like to have to spread it out. So if there's a couple of darks, like a tart or a sour and an IPA, I'll just do a smorgasbord so I get a little bit of everything. Not doing it. Nope. Not gonna drink the milk yet.
Should we go ahead?
Ooh, no, I'm not going to.
I've done this.
Oh, I'm not.
Take your time.
No.
Enjoy. Whatever's good for you.
Oh, it's yeah.
Do you want to move on to the Big Diesel Armageddon
do
sauce?
I? Oh my God, I feel like my lips are peeling off my face. Let's do it. Oh my God. How many Scoville units is this one?
This one I don't know because I also made this one.
Oh, okay. Okay. We'll see if I can taste it.
I'm already dead inside.
That actually was not as bad as the bomb. At least not yet. Oh, that was creeping. I really can't tell if my mouth is just numb from the bomb, so like this one's just, I literally feel like just like pepper was just dragged across my tongue from the bomb. It was just like,
So you're well known for your love of TV and movies, as well as expressing your, what we like to call, Lindsay Pell opinions. So while your mouth is on fire, I was wondering if we could get a couple of literal hot takes.
Sure.
All right.
All right.
You're a big fan of the Marvel Universe.
Yeah.
And in recent years, studios have been really trying to address and sort of work around the way that they're actually working with female characters.
Yes.
How they're being portrayed, how they're utilizing them, how they're even dressing them in costume. So now that the story arc is more or less complete, how do you feel that they actually did with Black Widow? Could they have gone in different directions? Do you think they needed to?
So here's the thing. Unlike most of the people in my life that I nerd out with, I did not read the comics, so I don't have that other frame of reference to compare the movies to. I think that from the get-go, she held her own pretty well within the Avengers, and I really enjoyed the standalone origins, I guess it was an origin story that they did recently. I thought it was really well done. They've definitely done better, like Wonder Woman, stuff like that, with making the female superheroes like not just like the side piece or like the hot chick or whatever. Like they've really been badass. I mean, I think when we went and saw Wonder Woman, we all cried at the end because it was like, whoa, cool, like a female superhero that actually kicks ass. He's totally sweating.
It's a lot.
Am I like winning? I feel like I'm winning right now. I'm winning.
So anyway, Noah Reid singing Simply the Best to Dan Levy is obviously one of the signature hallmarks of Schitt's Creek. So I was curious for your opinion on how you would rate some of their other notable performances, including Stevie covering Maybe This Time, Moira's Danny Boy, and of course a little bit Alexis.
So I thought that Emily Hampshire did a phenomenal job doing Cabaret. I didn't realize that she had singing chops, and I don't know if she took lessons, but I thought it was super well done. I would listen to Moira read the phone book, honestly, because it would probably be hysterical. I do have a little bit of a Moira impression. Alexis, it was the baby. So, yeah, I love that show.
Are you ready to move on to Chocolate Plague?
I am ready.
All right.
All right, let's do it. Oh, that was a creeper.
Yeah, that one I
That was a
find
little creeper.
it kind of, you still feel it.
Yeah.
Semi-recently you posted about being able to actually see live music again now that we're moving away from post-pandemic
Yes.
life. Why do you think music has been so important and had such a big role in helping people get through the last 2 years?
I think music in general, no matter what your background is or where you are in the world, I think music is just a part of like every sort of culture. Music just fills you up, right? And I think when you're in a dark place, music just brings a little light into your life. So I'm super stoked. I bought like tickets to like 6 shows.
Do you think that people are going to have a different appreciation for the live shows now?
I think initially probably yes, because we've been away from it for so long, but I feel like human memory is just so short that at some point we'll just start taking it for granted again like everything else.
So here we are.
All right.
Number 10, we finally made it to the last dab.
The last dab.
And they call it the last dab because it's a tradition to put a little extra on the last wing. Now you don't have to.
Oh, I'm going to.
But like literally everybody
No,
else
I'm
has.
going to. There was never a question of me not doing it, Dave. I guess I have to dab myself.
Yeah, that's how that works.
Oh, is that how that
Yeah,
works?
dude, COVID times.
All right. Cheers.
This is the triple X.
This is the triple
the
X.
peach and something.
Peach, chocolate, and something else I can't remember. One of the most memorable things for so many TV shows is their theme songs, whether it's Cheers, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, or even something instrumental like The Simpsons. So now that your mouth and your brain are on fire, can you write us a theme song for our show?
Like right this second, or just anytime?
Oh no, right now.
Oh, right now? Not once eating wings with Dave. Not once are you afraid. Not once please don't sue us. But if you do, screw us. I don't know.
I like it. Well, look at you, blowing through the wings of death, didn't touch your drinks, no milk, no beer, completely through it, barely broke a sweat. Lindsay Pellegrino, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you for having me.
Straight down the barrel of that camera, let people know what you got going on in your life.
Nothing. I just finished my degree in technical writing with distinction. Don't forget that.
Whoop.
So I'm just, focused on getting through the rest of this pandemic and just getting back to some sort of semblance of a life. And Christmas is coming and my birthday is coming and just getting. I'm so over the corona. I'm over the corona. I feel delightful. Like, there's no more hot sauce?
Do you want to do some more hot sauce?
No more hot sauce?
There's lots of hot
Yeah.
sauce.
You can just swig the
Yeah.
dab.
Just tell me, Lindsay,
dab.
tell me that you could do 20 more rounds of that.
I could
Yeah.
do 20 more rounds of that.
You could.
Oh yeah.
She premedicated. Let's see how her